The air was thick with tension. Ava crossed her arms. So? What now? I sat on the edge of the bed and looked at both of them calmly. No one here trusts each other. You think I'm recording you. I think you're recording me. So let's clear that up. Ava narrowed her eyes. How? Everyone strips, I said coldly. Right now. Their outrage was immediate. Noah, are you insane? Ava snapped. Kayla scoffed. You wish, sweetheart. But I didn't back down. You want to talk? Then prove you didn't bring anything in here. Ava looked at Kayla. They were trapped. If they refused, it meant they were hiding devices. If they agreed, they'd lose their devices. Kayla was the first to crack. This is stupid, Ava. Let's just do it. We're not here to seduce him. We're here to talk. So Ava nodded stiffly, and they both began stripping. Kayla went down to underwear first. I pointed. Underwear too. She glared at me, then obeyed. Standing there, trying to maintain her dignity, she turned around. That's when I saw it. A small tape patch on her lower back. A tiny recording device tucked cleverly where she assumed no one would check. I stepped closer. She squirmed. I ripped it off. Kayla yelped. Seriously, what is wrong with you? I held up the tiny recorder. One. Then I turned to Ava. Ava, your turn. She stood, hesitated, then slowly removed her last piece of clothing. She turned around. Another taped device on her lower back. I ripped that one off too. Ava gasped, cheeks red. Two. Then I stepped closer, brushing through her hair. Her breath caught. And then I found it. Another tiny recorder hidden in her hair clip. I pulled it out and held it up. 3. Kayla groaned. This is ridiculous. I checked her hair too. Found the fourth device instantly. 4. I collected all 4 recorders, placed them in Ava's hands, and pointed to the bathroom. Throw them away. Close the door. She did. But they weren't done. Kayla sat on the bed, legs relaxed, posture confident. Too confident. That's when I noticed the glint beneath her thigh. Another device, cleverly placed. I plucked it away. 5. They went pale. Their perfect plan? Destroyed in minutes. With the devices gone, Ava expected me to start talking. But Kayla had other ideas. She stood up, walked slowly toward me, and whispered, You know, you could do so much better than my sister. She pressed her body against mine. Ava didn't even protest. She smirked. This was their last attempt. Their last gamble. Seduce me. Make me lose control. Force a compromising moment. But they didn't understand something. My self-control was stronger than both of them combined. Kayla, I said quietly, sit down. She didn't. She moved her hand up my chest. Ava watched, waiting for me to slip up. They thought desire was my weakness. They had no idea discipline was my weapon. I stepped back. Sit down. This time she obeyed. Both women watched me, confused, frustrated, thrown off balance. Exactly how I wanted them, because they had walked into this room believing they were the hunters. But now they finally understood. They were the prey. The moment the realization hit them, the air in the room changed. The tension wasn't seductive anymore. It was fearful. Kayla pulled her legs in slightly. Ava shifted on the bed, suddenly aware she wasn't in control anymore. They were exposed, literally and mentally, stripped of every device, every lie, every advantage. But I wasn't finished. Not even close. Ava cleared her throat and forced a soft, trembling voice. Noah, let's just talk, she whispered, trying to pull the conversation back into familiar territory. She crossed her arms over her chest, trying to appear fragile. Her favorite manipulation tactic. I still love you, she added. We can fix this. There it was. The plea. The appeal to old emotions. The fake vulnerability. I didn't react. That's not true, I said calmly. You loved the safety I provided. The identity I gave you. Not me. Ava's expression faltered. Kayla looked between us. Annoyed. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. You lied to me. You lied to the kids. You lied to your parents. You lied to your friends. Ava bit her lip. Everyone makes mistakes, she muttered. You didn't make one mistake, I said quietly. You made hundreds. Silence. Then Ava's voice snapped. Fine. I messed up. I was stressed. You were distant. I needed comfort. Comfort? I asked. In a coworker's bed? Ava flinched like I slapped her. Kayla rolled her eyes. Oh, come on. Everyone cheats. It's not that deep. I turned to her slowly. And how many marriages have you destroyed with that philosophy? Kayla smirked, but her eyes tightened. A few, she said. Maybe more. That's what I thought. For a brief moment, neither of them spoke. They were waiting for me to break down, explode, cry, beg, something. But I didn't. They still hadn't figured it out. The calmest man in the room is always the most dangerous. Suddenly, Ava changed tactics again. She leaned back, letting her hair fall behind her shoulders, voice soft and breathy. Noah. We can make up right here, she said. Start over. Reset. Kayla nodded, encouraging her sister's performance. You two had something good, Kayla said. Don't throw it away. I stared at them both. You think seduction is going to fix this? I asked quietly. You think I'd forget what you did to our children? To your parents? To me? Ava swallowed hard. Their plan was failing. Fast. Then Kayla did something that shocked even Ava. Kayla slid closer to me on the bed, placing her hand on my thigh. You don't need her, she whispered. You could have me instead. Ava stared at her sister in disbelief. Kayla, what are you? Kayla didn't look away from me. You want proof? She said, voice low. I can give you something she never could. I always wondered what you'd be like. It wasn't seduction. It was a setup. They had one last hidden trick. A staged attack to use against me later. I knew the moment her hand moved. Kayla was trying to create a compromising situation. For the fake assault plan Ava had whispered about on her phone days earlier. But what they didn't know was, the real recording device in the room was mine. Hidden hours earlier. In something so ordinary neither of them checked it. Kayla suddenly forced herself backward, letting out a dramatic scream. Stop! No! Get off me! Ava burst out of the bathroom with her phone held up, recording, face twisted in a fake expression of horror. What are you doing to my sister? She yelled, voice trembling perfectly. Kayla continued to scream. He's hurting me. Ava. Get him off. Ava pointed her camera at me, breath shaking. Noah, I have everything on video. You're done. Done. Kayla curled into Ava's arms, whimpering. The performance was flawless. If I hadn't expected it, if I hadn't planned for it, if I hadn't planted my own device, I might have been trapped. But the thing about liars is simple. Once you know they're lying, their lies become weapons against them. I stood up, calm, cold. Are you done? I asked. Ava lowered the phone slightly, confused. What do you mean? I reached into the pocket of my folded clothing and pulled out a tiny, sleek recording device, one they didn't recognize. Ava's eyes widened. Kayla froze. You didn't think you were the only ones recording, did you? I asked softly. They went pale. I pressed a button. The device played audio from the last 20 minutes. Kayla whispering about seducing me. Ava telling her to do it when he's distracted. Kayla laughing about how this will ruin him. Ava planning to fake the scream. Their whispered strategy to accuse me no matter what happened. The exact words. Make him touch you first. We just need a few seconds on camera. He won't see it coming. This will give us everything in court. Ava's cheeks lost all color. Kayla's mouth hung open. No. That's not, you can't. I cut her off. Oh, but I can. And I will. You wanted a recording? Congratulations. You're in one. Ava's voice cracked. Noah, please, delete it. We were just thinking. You were thinking about destroying me, I said quietly. And you brought your sister into it. Kayla swallowed hard. Okay. Look, we went too far, but nothing, I replied. You tried to frame me. That's a felony. Conspiracy. False reporting. Parental alienation. Custody manipulation. Ava began crying silently. Noah, please don't ruin us. Don't ruin me. I looked her in the eyes, and for a brief moment, I saw the woman I once loved. But that woman was gone. Replaced by someone who would burn her own family, just to save her pride. I walked to the door. Get dressed, I said. We're done talking here. Ava sobbed. Kayla trembled. They had walked into this hotel believing they could destroy me. But the truth was simple. You can't destroy someone who has already seen the darkness, and chosen to walk through it instead of running from it. And now the real battle, the legal one, was about to begin. Only this time, I held every card. And Ava knew it. The moment those words left my mouth, the last bit of color drained from her face. Kayla froze beside her, suddenly quiet for the first time since I'd walked into that hotel. Their plan had failed. Their backup plan had failed. Their lies had failed. Their fake performance had failed. And the worst part for them? They had no idea what else I was holding. Because that hotel room was not the end of the war. It was only the opening strike. They dressed in silence. Ava's hands shook so badly she dropped her clothes twice. Kayla kept muttering under her breath. Cursing me. Cursing Ava. Cursing the world. But not loud enough to meet my eyes. When we finally walked through the hotel hallway, heads lowered, every person who passed us stared. Ava pulled her jacket tighter around herself. Kayla kept her gaze glued to the carpet. Not because of what happened in the room, but because for the first time in their lives, they were experiencing real consequences, real exposure, real vulnerability, real fear. I didn't speak a single word on the way down. Ava was trembling as she pressed the elevator button. Noah, please, let's not do this. We can still fix things. We can talk at home. We can. We did talk, I said softly. You chose lies. You chose him. And today, you chose a crime. The elevator doors opened. She flinched like the sound was a gunshot. Back home, Ava moved around like a ghost. She avoided the kids, avoided the mirrors, avoided her own reflection in anything. Kayla stayed with her for hours, whispering frantic plans. You can still flip this. You can cry in court. Say he set you up. Say he attacked me. We can still win. But Ava wasn't listening anymore, because for the first time, she realized something Kayla never would. I wasn't playing emotionally. I wasn't reacting out of hurt. I wasn't improvising. This was a strategy, a system, a long, patient, carefully layered sequence of moves. And every move she made only added fuel to my fire. Over the next weeks, I did the unthinkable. I stayed calm. I stayed silent. I documented everything. Every lie. Every absence. Every missed school event. Every moment she chose her affair over her kids. Every voicemail. Every inconsistency. Every location ping. Every conversation at the hotel. I built a digital fortress of evidence. Organized. Time-stamped. Verified. While Ava scrambled to fix the mess, I was building an airtight case. My lawyer nearly fell out of his chair when he heard the hotel recording. This alone can neutralize any accusation she tries to throw at you, he said. And what about the affair? I asked. He smiled. With the proof you have, she's finished. Completely. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel joy, just inevitability. A storm doesn't celebrate when it breaks a tree. It just exists doing what storms do. A few days before the court hearing, Ava came into the kitchen, looking exhausted. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were swollen. She hadn't slept in days. Noah, I want to fix things, she whispered. Not for us, for the kids, for my parents, for everyone. I didn't answer. She stepped closer. We don't have to go to court. We can settle. We can talk to the lawyers together. I already made my decision, I said. The truth is, I didn't raise my voice once during this entire process. I didn't throw guilt. I didn't show anger. And that terrified her more than anything. Because cheaters don't fear anger. They fear silence. They fear calm retaliation. They fear losing control. For a moment, she looked like she might collapse. Noah, please, she whispered. I'm scared. You should be, I said. Not because of me, but because of the choices you made. She cried. But tears don't rebuild trust. Tears don't erase lies. Tears don't erase betrayal. And they certainly don't erase the recording she made trying to frame me. The day of court arrived. Ava walked in looking smaller than I had ever seen her, like someone who'd been hollowed out from the inside. Kayla strutted beside her, wearing the confidence of a woman who had no idea she was about to drown. Ava's lawyer started the hearing with a dramatic claim. Your Honor, my client has evidence that her husband attempted to harm her sister. I didn't even flinch. The judge looked at me. My client also has evidence, my lawyer said. He pressed play on my device. The courtroom went silent. And then, Kayla's whispering, make him touch you first. Ava's whispering, act scared. Start screaming. Kayla, we'll ruin him. Ava, then I'll get the kids. The judge's expression went from neutral, to shocked, to furious. Ava's lawyer sank into his seat. Kayla's face turned white. Ava broke down sobbing. The judge slammed his gavel. This, he said sternly, is one of the clearest examples of attempted fraud this courtroom has ever seen. Ava tried to speak. I didn't. Silence. The judge snapped. You attempted to fabricate abuse. You involved a family member. You endangered your children's emotional well-being. You lied to this court. Kayla looked like she wanted to crawl under the bench. Ava covered her face and sobbed uncontrollably. The judge turned to me calmly. Mr. Hale, we'll proceed with your petition. I nodded once. Ava cried harder. Kayla looked sick. And just like that, their entire plan collapsed. After the hearing, Ava tried to approach me outside the courthouse. Noah, please, let me explain. I shook my head. There's nothing left to explain. She fell to her knees right there on the marble floor, sobbing so loudly people turned to look. I didn't feel victory. I didn't feel joy. I felt closure. The kind that comes not from revenge, but from truth finally standing on its own. Ava realized that day that she didn't just lose the case. She lost her image, her power, her story, her lies, her manipulations, her ability to rewrite the past. And most of all, she lost me. And she knew it long before the judge read the final verdict. Long before her parents stopped looking at her the same way. Long before the kids stopped asking when she'd come home. Ava didn't just lose a marriage. She lost the version of herself she pretended to be. And the court was about to strip away the rest. When the judge returned with his ruling, Ava sat trembling so violently the entire bench shook. Kayla held her hand but looked just as terrified. I sat straight, calm, prepared. The judge cleared his throat. After reviewing the evidence, testimonies, recordings, and the documented attempt to manipulate this court, Ava squeezed her eyes shut. This court rules in favor of Mr. Noah Hale. Kayla gasped. Ava whimpered softly, a sound I hope I never hear again. The judge continued, custody of the children will be awarded primarily to the father. Mrs. Hale will have limited, supervised visitation until further evaluation. Ava broke down immediately. No, please, Your Honor. I can't lose them, please. The judge did not look at her. And as for the post-marriage agreement Mrs. Hale signed, it is valid and enforceable. Ava sobbed harder. Kayla's jaw dropped. The judge stacked the papers. And due to Mrs. Hale's deliberate destruction of evidence, attempted fraud, false allegations, and the emotional damage inflicted on the minors, this court sentences her to 90 days in county jail. Ava screamed. Actually screamed. No, I can't. Please. I didn't mean Noah. Please, Noah. Do something. Please. I didn't move. I didn't look at her. I just listened as the gavel came down for the final time. The most devastating blow came right after. My lawyer submitted the documentation we'd prepared. The hidden account, the secret transfers, the second mortgage she quietly took out on our home, and funneled into her private stash. The judge's face twisted in disappointment. Mrs. Hale, hiding assets during a divorce is illegal. Ava's mouth fell open. No, I wasn't hiding it, I was saving. Enough. She stopped instantly. The judge signed an order. All funds in the hidden account will be awarded to Mr. Hale. Ava looked like her entire soul left her body. No, not that money, please. But there was nothing left to plead for. She had gambled too hard and lost everything. When Ava's parents heard the full truth, the cheating, the lies, the second phone, the affair, the hidden account, the fake hotel scheme, the attempted framing, they didn't defend her this time. Her mother quietly whispered, I don't know who you are anymore. Her father stepped back when she tried to hug him. Don't, he said. We raised you better than this. Kayla tried to defend her. It wasn't all her fault. But her father cut her off sharply. Not another word from you. Kayla's face turned red. Ava's lips trembled. Mom, Dad, please, I need you. But they didn't move. And for the first time in their lives, Ava and Kayla stood alone. That evening I sat the kids down gently. They were old enough to understand everything now. I told them the truth. Not to turn them against their mother, but to protect them from her lies. Our daughter cried quietly. Our son clenched his fists, jaw trembling. Dad? Did she really? Yes, I said softly. She made choices that hurt all of us. Our daughter whispered, why didn't she pick us? There's no answer to that. I just held them until their tears stopped. After that day, neither of them asked when she'd be coming home. Ava entered jail the following morning, still crying, still begging, still bargaining. She tried to hide her face from reporters. She tried to keep her dignity, but the community already knew. Inside, she wasn't special. She wasn't the perfect wife. She wasn't the pretty realtor. She wasn't the loving mother. She was just another inmate. They cut her hair. They stripped away her jewelry. They took the last pieces of her constructed identity. When she came out 90 days later, she was thinner, hollow-eyed, and broken. Not the Ava I once knew. Not even a shadow of her. Kayla didn't escape consequences either. Her involvement in the scheme made her a social pariah. Her reputation in town collapsed. Her job? Gone. Her relationships? Destroyed. Her credibility? Zero. And the worst blow? Her own parents shut their door in her face. She had finally pushed too far. Ava tried to move on. Tried to restart her life. But she faced a world that finally saw her clearly. No good jobs. No respect. No support. No stable relationships. No trust. No path back to the image she once guarded so fiercely. And every few weeks, I still receive late-night calls from her. Drunk. Crying. Rambling about how she still loves me. How she deserves another chance. How her life fell apart because of one mistake. But we both know the truth. It wasn't one mistake. It was a lifetime of choices. A lifetime of lies. A lifetime of using people. And now she's living with the consequences she thought she'd never face. I rebuilt myself quietly. My kids healed. My home became peaceful again. My nights stopped being battlegrounds. My mornings stopped being suspicion and silence. I wasn't broken by what happened. I was sharpened by it. And every time Ava calls, every time she begs, every time she regrets, I remember the hotel room, the fake screams, the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal. And I remind myself, she lost me the moment she chose someone else over the family I built with her. But what she didn't understand, what she still doesn't understand even today, is that losing me wasn't the real tragedy. It was losing the life she had with me, the stability, the respect, the trust, the children who adored her, the home that kept her safe, the man who would have done anything for her before she destroyed everything. She didn't just lose a marriage. She lost the version of herself that only existed when she was with me. After jail, after losing her job, after burning every bridge she ever walked across, Ava tried to rebuild. But life wasn't kind to her anymore. The polished, perfect realtor image was gone. No one wanted to work with a woman who'd lied in court. No one trusted a mother who tried to frame her own husband. No one wanted to hire someone who carried a reputation soaked in scandal. She bounced between low-paying jobs, waitressing, call centers, cleaning work. Everywhere she went, whispers followed her. People stared. People judged. People remembered. She used to walk into rooms expecting admiration. Now she walked in expecting eyes to look away. As months passed, Ava's life became a loop. Temporary job, overtime, stress, new boyfriend, chaos, breakup, bills, arguments, drinking, repeat. She lived with Kayla for a while. Two broken sisters hiding from reality inside a cheap apartment that smelled like the cigarette smoke they used to calm their nerves. Kayla's life spiraled even worse. Drugs, bars, random men, trouble, a toxic environment Ava willingly stayed in. Because the truth was simple. There was no stable life left to go back to. First, Ava tried to see the kids. But supervised visitation meant they met in sterile, emotionless rooms that felt more like court chambers than family time. She'd show up looking tired, unsteady, wearing whatever she could afford, trying to smile, trying to act normal. But kids aren't stupid. They saw the cracks. They felt the tension, the guilt, the manipulation. After a few stressful visits, the kids quietly told me they didn't want to see their mother anymore. Dad. She feels like a stranger. Dad. She keeps crying and blaming everything. Dad. I don't feel safe. And so, I didn't force them. I never once spoke badly about her in front of them. But children can sense the truth even when adults hide it. They chose peace. They chose safety. They chose me. Every few weeks she still calls. Sometimes angry. Sometimes crying. Sometimes whispering that she misses the kids. Sometimes begging for forgiveness. Sometimes saying she wants her family back. And sometimes accusing me. You ruined my life. You turned everyone against me. You could have forgiven me. You made me lose everything. You should have taken me back. But the truth has never changed. She ruined her own life. She turned everyone against herself. She chose lies over honesty. She chose lust over loyalty. She chose chaos over her children. I didn't destroy her. She destroyed herself. My home is peaceful again. My kids are healing. I'm working, growing, rebuilding. I'm not the same person I was when Ava first betrayed me. I'm stronger, smarter, harder, more aware. I learned to recognize manipulation. I learned to protect my heart. I learned the difference between love and dependency, between loyalty and blindness. I didn't come out of this story bitter. I came out clearer. A few weeks ago, late at night, she sent me a voice message. Her voice was slurred, soft, defeated. Do you ever miss me, Noah? Do you ever wish things were different? I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. Because long before the court rulings, long before the evidence, long before the hotel trap, Ava made her choice. She didn't just walk away from our marriage. She walked away from the man who would have loved her fiercely, from the kids who adored her, from the life she could have kept forever. And when she walked away, she lost me, forever. Thank you for being here and listening to today's story. I hope it brought something meaningful to you. Until next time, take care. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.